So sadly, I lost my microphone. So I'm gonna do my best here for you guys to be able to hear. But this is just me live. I'm honestly just doing my morning routines. And I'll talk a little bit today about some stem cell, hydrogen, ozone. It was kind of, dare I say, kind of experimental in the sense that really nobody has ever done anything like that before, that particular combination. And then if you guys have questions, we'll go over that. So meanwhile, let's show you what I'm gonna be doing as far as routines are concerned. So I clean my water. This is the first thing, guys. I believe that in order to heal, and this actually goes for both physically and spiritually, because I think it's all connected. Obviously, there's more techniques or different ones for spiritual healing, but I mostly on my channel focus on physical healing because I don't like to talk too much about religion and politics. Actually, I don't mind it. It's other people who mind. I can talk about any of those subjects and not get upset, but some people can't seem to control their emotions, so I don't go into it. I don't want to upset people. Just let people believe what they want to believe. So anyway, getting the hydro fix going is, I already have my hydrogen water actually, and I'm taking special, all these kind of, I don't normally do a lot of supplements, but I'm taking some special ones because I just got done doing the stem cell hydrogen ozone protocol, and there's a bunch of different supplements that they want me to take to kind of enhance. I'm working with a really great doctor, actually, one of the best in literally all of the United States. She received all sorts of awards and everything. Now, this is how you clean water. If you guys want to watch more details about how to do it properly, because all filters are not created equal at all, just like hydrogen machines. And you got to carbon distill if you're going to get your water clean. So I apologize if you guys really can't hear. I'm going to do my best, but let's fill this thing up. And then I actually fill it up with reverse osmosis water. Doing reverse osmosis allows me to, well, it keeps, for one, it keeps my distiller super clean. So I never need to actually clean it. If you can believe that, I've never cleaned it in ever, basically. And then it also allows me to not have to use the carbon part for the distiller. So I don't have to do the carbon distillation. I can just reverse osmosis first, and then I distill, and that's how you get clean water. And it's sad that I have to go through this whole process, but guys, that's what they've done to our planet. You know, that's what they've done to the world. We have water that is just not very clean. I have the lab reports actually to prove it. Again, watch video 388 if you want those details. But this is my routine in the morning. In fact, let's see here, I'll show you. Try to point towards a distiller if you guys want to see how I do it, because people always want to know my routines, my protocols. Of course, in the morning I don't record when I'm like brushing my teeth in the morning and drinking my hydrogen water and all that kind of stuff. So I don't tend to drink a lot of that. So now I'm going to go over here and grab this, and it's full, almost full. There's a huge mess here because a lot of people came over. There was kind of a party yesterday, and so everybody, well, they left a little bit of a mess. You guys can imagine that's what happened. But it was nice to see people. Right? All right, so to me, my protocols, water is absolutely a crucial part of the protocols. Super, super clean water. It's not so much because it will heal you, in my opinion. I should say today I'm not going to give you medical advice. You guys know that. I'm also not going to make any medical claims or claims for or against products. You know the drill, guys. And I'll also answer any questions you guys have, so you can type them in. I've been getting messages from people who will say, hey, when are you doing your lives? I never have them planned. And I don't even know how long I'll be able to go here because I might have to go here in a second. So we're going to go as long as we can go, and then I can answer quote unquote people's questions. Oh, I didn't show you. You guys probably get the idea though. I just put the device in here. I just slid it in here, and then I just fire it up. And it typically takes anywhere 3 to 6 hours, quote unquote 3 to 6 hours, to clean your water, if you can believe that, guys. 1 drop at a time. That's how it seems to go. Okay, let's make breakfast. Now, actually, let's see if you guys have any questions as I'm going on here. All right, Northern Yeti says, hi Greg, looking forward to the stem cell information. How long are you back in the States for? And then Joshua says, hey Greg, thank you for sharing. All right guys, so the stem cell part, I hope, you know what, let me know if you can hear me because the phone's gonna be set there while I'm making my breakfast. So basically, I'm extremely impressed with the stem cell. Obviously I read a lot about it, and as I do always with you guys, with my show, from my channel. Let me grab some nutrients, hold on. Maybe you can hear me over here too while I'm talking, but as I always do, I do a ridiculous amount of research, and I always want to do it best, and I want to do it correctly. Why? Because I have found way too many times that when you do things incorrectly, not only can they give you no results, they can actually be harmful potentially, right? And somebody just asked, I just got my Hydrofix a couple weeks ago. I put the cannula in the water, only get a little bubbles. Yeah, don't even worry about the bubbles so much. People worry way too much about the bubbles. All the machines are lab tested, certified, and I actually found out that the company in Japan, the Japanese, literally tested the machine in multiple different ways, even as far as getting it certified, because people are always concerned about, am I getting the hydrogen? The reason that you don't see that many bubbles is because of the design. So basically, the Hydrofix doesn't use some type of pump or something to push the air to make all these bubbles. It doesn't do that. It does it in a more like organic and natural way. Hydrogen naturally goes upward. I want to grab something. Naturally goes upward. And so as long as you see your machine making bubbles, then you're getting the hydrogen, you know. And a lot of people who try to do that bubble test actually do it incorrectly. And the company has told me that. I believe they have their own videos. I don't know if you guys have seen their videos, but you can go to, I think their YouTube channel is called Holy Hydrogen. That's kind of my assumption. And you can just go to their channel and watch that. But yeah, I don't know if you saw the certificate that it comes with. It comes with a certificate showing the lab it was tested in, the results, even down to the serial number. They're the only company in the world. So all those other devices out there, by the way, none of them are actually getting, every single one of them don't get lab tested. The Japanese are the only ones who do that because they're so, well, perfectionists. And it also costs more money, so no companies want to do that, but the guy who makes the Hydrofix just wants the best for the world. That's why I love his product and that guy. And so I just put some raw turmeric in there. I put my purium powder in there for the nutrients. You guys know the drill probably, but just in case you don't. I'm gonna put some raw cacao. Good for stem cells, by the way. And I'm gonna put some Japanese green matcha. All this stuff is good for you. So anyway, I was doing all this research on the stem cells, and basically what I'm uncovering is not all just like hydrogen, not all stem cells are created equal, not all hydrogen is created equal. And the sad part is, based on everything that I've seen, so I'm going to give you my opinion because I'm not making legal claims, but in my opinion, based on what I've seen though, and researched, both can be harmful if done the wrong way. So that's a really big problem. You know, you really want to make sure that you're doing things the right way. If you're trying to do it obviously for your health. Give me 1 second here. Let's start with some greens. Fiber is so important for the body. So basically this particular stem, if you guys want to know details about the stem cell product or the doctor that is doing it, and I researched it extensively, and she's the best. That's what I'm finding. And I was really impressed with her protocols. She definitely does it different than other people. And that to me is absolutely crucial. And of course, the results were phenomenal. And really, you know what's funny about the whole thing? I won't necessarily get into it unless you guys really, really want to hear about it, but I did not go expecting or thinking. I'm going to release some footage, by the way, later of the experience that I had over there, how it all went down. But what really surprised me was I ended up having a very spiritual experience with it, and I didn't expect that at all. I wasn't going there thinking anything spiritual. I wasn't, you know, going there expecting an experience like that. These things kind of happen to me just here and there randomly. And it was really profound and just strange. And even the people, even the doctors there who were working there and the nurses, they all thought it was kind of wild too. So it ended up being a lot of fun and really kind of funny in other ways. We had a lot of good laughs and it ended up being a really good time. So let's see here. What else? Do you make this daily? The smoothie? Yeah, this is my breakfast. This is my morning routine. This is my morning protocol. The human body, there's actual data on this, but almost nobody talks about it. And it was actually tried to be suppressed, believe it or not, a very long time ago. But it's still out there. So basically the human body requires a massive amount of fiber. And in the Japanese are also finding massive amounts of research. Well, I'm sorry, not finding it. They're doing a lot of research. And they discovered that, again, the human body, there's so many crazy benefits to fiber. The things that it does inside the body kind of boggle the mind because on the outside, you don't think much of it. Kind of like water. You may be like, it's just water. Why is it that important? Clearly we know it's important because we would die without it. The fiber has so many functions, from regulating blood glucose to helping the absorption of nutrients, to even helping the body just be better hydrated, which, by the way, the body will always function better when it's properly hydrated. In fact, that was one of the things that during the stem cell treatment we were talking about, and I was trying to show the doctor that I was working with. That reminds me, I guess if you guys want to know more about the stem cell stuff, like I said, you can email me, but you have to email if you want information or talking to the doctor, your name, phone number, and email, and then she will reach out to you. That's what she's doing with everybody right now. And so if you guys, need it for any particular reason, you can do it for certain pains, you can do it for anti-aging, you can do it for overall health, you can do it for many different reasons, whatever reasons you're, ultimately looking for. So, but yes, and then the fiber, I combine it with these nutrients on purpose. That's why my blood work shows that I'm absorbing nutrients on a level that even the doctor literally couldn't understand. Oh, thanks for all the thumbs up, guys. Just noticed that. And so, yeah, and they also used, I'll show the video later as far as the actual experience there. But I like the way that she does her protocol, because she uses ozone, so she really oxygenates a lot of, for example, my blood when I was there, to enhance the stem cells. She also uses peptides. Again, certain supplements like nitric oxide, fulvic acid, all these different types of things. And of course, I brought in the hydrogen, and that podcast, we actually did a podcast. So if you guys are interested, I'll try to find out later. You can look her up meanwhile if you want. Her name is Dr. Kong, Kong. So you can look for her podcasts. And she's the one that, we're sharing information, and I believe that we're creating even better protocols by working kind of together. And you guys can even contact her directly. I believe she said she'll offer you a discount if you mention the Hydrogen Man. And that would be awesome. One for the discount for you guys. And yeah, and she's been very kind to me, so I want to let her know that I'm trying to help her information get out there, because I love people who do good work. I don't like when people just try to sell garbage products, or, it's just about the money. I like when people actually do really, really honorable, and quality work. And her stem cells are different, because you can get stem cells from your own body, but she really educated me on this subject, sharing with me that they're just not as strong. They're just not quite the same. But you also don't want to grow, some of them, they actually grow them. And those have certain, what are they called, mutations. And so ultimately, the most powerful and appears to be safest ones are coming from umbilical cords of women who are having babies. And they use the umbilical cord and they make sure, I'm sure you guys know I have to be cautious about this, but they make sure that the mother and the father and the people who made the baby never got medicine, which is a little needle that would go in your arm, for a certain thing that we dealt with for a while, which was important to me because I didn't want any spikes, quote unquote proteins in me or anything like that, or I didn't want any of that stuff in me, and so that was important to me, and I was glad that she does it that way. And so really high quality, powerful stem cells. And most people will like inject it in a certain area and stuff like that. She does that also, but she also runs it through your entire body. I like that part of the protocol too. So she runs a lot of it through your body, and she can go to specific areas. And of course, like I said, using not just ozone, but she also used light therapy, which is really interesting technology, obviously. And I'll show you some of the supplements later. In fact, I'm going to take one right now. I just took fulvic acid before I started the camera because you want to take it with a lot of good, clean water. Of course, I'm combining this stuff with the hydrogen. In fact, I was doing the hydrogen at her clinic because she wants to implement it into the whole protocol, because she read, and I read it too, there's good data about hydrogen and stem cells also. So that's super awesome. Let me see here, what am I looking for? Oh yes. So I'll show you one of the supplements she gave me. Now, she says the better you take care of your health, the better they're gonna work. And obviously, I might be like the person who takes care of their health the most as far as any client she's ever had. And this is nitric oxide. I was trying to explain to her that my smoothies already have numerous ingredients to get the body to produce it, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. I'm following her protocol on top of what I'm doing. Michael Pena says, I have a spiritual related question. What is your opinion of Lourdes, France? Have you ever been there? And then I'll answer that in a second. That might be a longer answer. And Joshua says, does her stem cells affect the brain positively? Yes. Hydrogen really affects the brain a ton. In fact, I just had a really great interview, but it was on Instagram, on my channel, and unfortunately it wasn't in English, so I don't know how many of you would really understand it, but I tried to, sorry, I got this thing in my mouth, translate it for everybody. But it was a man, I'll just tell you guys what it was. It's a man I've been working with, and they fried his brain. By the way, can you guys hear me when I'm over here? Can anybody comment? I want to make sure you can hear me before I keep rambling. Okay. That'll work. So this guy had his poor brain radiated, and he didn't know me. Started doing research. He had cancer in his brain, and I really wish that he would have found me sooner before he did the treatments, of course. But if you guys want to not only hear an amazing testimonial, I want to record them, because I don't think people, believe it or not, there's people who think I'm lying about these testimonials, and I'm definitely not. They're so incredible. And so, let's see, not so loud and clear. I've been using nitric oxide for a month. Yeah, I don't even think it's totally necessary, but it helps the stem cells that are running through my body right now. And yeah, I'll provide, you guys can turn up the volume on yours, hopefully that'll help. But you can also email me directly, and I'll put you in contact with her. So, by the way, soaked raisins, super clean water. Anything that's dried, you want to soak it. Get water in it. It helps the body basically repair better. That's one of my protocols. So, what was I saying? Oh, these are super good for the brain, by the way. Soaked walnuts. Somebody remind me what I was talking about. I'm kind of rambling everywhere. I was going to tell you about, this guy. So the brain. So this guy gets radiated. He can't talk. It was really sad and actually really bad. And then he started being able to talk only like after years, by the way. He could talk a little bit. Like I could understand maybe 10% of what he was saying. It was terrible because I couldn't understand almost anything he was saying, and he wanted my help. So I worked with him and his nurse, and I did a full consult to help him. By the way, these are chia seeds, again, soaked in water. Put them back in the fridge. A lot of good minerals. A lot of good omegas. Now, so this guy gets on my protocol, guys. No doctor could achieve this, apparently. And 2 months later, so incredible. This is why the Hydrofix is so special, and hydrogen. This guy is talking again. I can understand about 90% of what he's saying. So, massive improvement. Pineapples, by the way, these have really good enzymes in them, and they taste really good. And I just happen to buy some. And if you guys will notice, my smoothies aren't always the same. I try to get what I can out there. You know, a lot of vegetables, because I can't consume this level of vegetables or fruit. I don't know who could. It's a lot of food. And doing it in a smoothie is very helpful. Organic blueberries. So yeah, his testimonial was very powerful and extremely impressive. Blueberries are so good for you. Obviously they're good for vascular health, which is important for many things. Most of these ingredients are good for the heart. And most of you probably know that that's one of the leading causes of death is heart disease. And most of these foods, believe it or not, are anti-parasitic and anti-cancerous too. And look at this. Thank goodness I got one banana left. I can still have my smoothie without the banana, but the banana's like, it really makes it taste much, it just brings that flavor and consistency that I like to it. So yeah, it's been extremely powerful. I think the combination of the stem cells with hydrogen would be unreal for the brain. I mean, I'm feeling super good, like next level good, guys. I am so happy and grateful that the option is out there. Yes, it isn't cheap, and that sucks, and we all wish that we were rich so that we could buy the things that we need, and that's really tough. But at least we have the option if push comes to shove, you know, and you're dealing with some serious medical issues. You know, it's a little ironic. This is no advice to you guys, but this is one of the reasons that I don't actually pay for medical insurance, because they never give me the treatment I want, and anything that I want, they always say we don't cover it. So what I've been doing for a long time is I take the money that I would ordinarily pay for medical insurance, and by the way, this is ginger, and then I put it in my like a little fund, and I've been doing that for a long time. I do the same thing for car insurance. I don't get full coverage. I kind of drive a crappy car, you know. And just to always be trying to save money for those rainy days and for stuff like this, you know, for trying to figure out good things, both for myself, but you know, I do a lot of this, guys, for you guys. You know, I do it for me because it's beneficial for me. But if I find the answers, and you guys don't have to spend the money going to all these random places or buying random products or supplements, because you can throw a lot of money away, and like I said, you could even cause yourself harm. I've seen it a lot. It saddens me so much. Particularly, well, with all of them, I've seen stuff from supplements to hydrogen to water filters, and it bugs me because in my personal opinion, in order to really be able to heal, you have to have purity in everything that you're doing. You need purity in your food, purity in your water, purity in your air. You need to overcome nutritional deficiencies. You got to bring down the amount of parasites in the body. You got to sleep good hours. Hopefully you can do a little bit of exercise, nothing crazy, you know, at least 30 minutes of walking a day. And I don't mean walking at the grocery store, you know. I'm talking about going outside, getting some sunshine, stuff like that. Hopefully I'm answering your questions. Oh wait, somebody had that question, I forgot. I've been to Lourdes, France. It's a beautiful place. That's right, somebody asked about that. No, I haven't been there. I do think, to be honest, what's really cool about it, obviously, is that they have like basically holy water, you know, which is the Lord's water, which is full of hydrogen. Next ingredient's a beet, by the way. And to be honest, guys, beets, organic. There are other places on the planet that also have this type of holy water, or water with hydrogen in it. I've even uncovered, I've never said it publicly, and I probably won't for quite some time. I discovered something that almost nobody knows. There's very few people who know, but I've uncovered some secret places on the planet that have a very unique and special type of hydrogen. And I just don't want those places to end up getting ruined and crowded, and so that's why I haven't said anything. In the future, I will be doing probably more videos because I'm planning on going there and spending more time there. Because I've already, I know about it. And it's pretty awesome. All right. So, I think hydrogen in general it's spiritual because hydrogen is life. You know, that's what I've been figuring out. Anything that has life in it will basically be good for your health. That's why live food. That's why the stem cells have so much life in it. And ultimately, life stems from hydrogen. So, okay, what are your any thoughts on cayenne pepper? I like it. That's good news. Both help the brain. I'm glad you're feeling great. Can't wait to hop on the protocols. And Yeti says, what are your thoughts on creatine? I'm not against creatine. As always, you want to get a good source. I probably should get on it here and there, but I haven't because I'm always researching something, and creatine, I was really more interested in the stem cells, but you know, if anybody's done a ton of research and wants to email me, you could potentially save me some time, but I know about it, and I know that it's most likely good for you, and I don't like to do something like that all the time, and I'm not a huge fan of supplements, but I know that it appears to help the body have more water, and the more water, you know, and better hydration, more power, more health, more healing. That's why hydrogen also hydrates you better than just normal water. All right, so obviously I'm putting some celery in here. I think we're running out of room. Let's see if I didn't answer your questions, ask again. Also, Yeti says, I also got my Hydro Fix a month ago and drink your smoothies to a T and never felt better. Oh yeah, man. It's so simple, isn't it? Now, granted, the Hydro Fix ain't simple. It looks simple, but it's not, because the technology and the membrane and the metal is unlike any other machine in the world. All the other machines they're all using plated Chinese metals, stainless steel, which is not right for hydrogen production. Not very good membranes. They're using DuPont membranes or what's called a single layer membrane. They're just not making very good hydrogen. But yeah, if you get the right hydrogen and also clean water, Yeti, I'm sure you probably already have yourself a carbon distiller, or at least a distiller and a reverse osmosis filter, so you can basically double filter your water so you can actually get it clean. And it makes you feel so good. And you have really good, you know, I used to have issues with, and a lot of people do, with like constipation and different stuff. I'll tell you, it's all this fiber is like super magical. Of course, I also had nutritional deficiencies. I'm going to show you one of the tricks that I do, because I don't use any supplements typically, but there is one that I use, and I think I'm going to save this last carrot because there's one nutrient. I can get all sorts of nutrients from my food. I've proven that I can do that by using hydrogen clean water in these smoothies, but there is one nutrient that you can't get no matter what you're eating. You can try, but you won't achieve the levels that are necessary based on the science I've read from literally the #1 expert actually in the world who's done so much research, and that nutrient is vitamin D. You're not going to get enough vitamin D. And there's more and more research coming out about as you age, and I'm going to be releasing, I have some really good data on this, about the sun. And did you guys just hear the hydrofix? That means we can fill this bad boy up with some hydrogen water. Now you may think that's silly, and you know what? Maybe it is, but why not? I have it. I have a machine that will make me tons of it. And on top of it, I've seen actual research where the hydrogen absorbs into the food. And yeah, some of it might escape when I blend it. Maybe all of it will escape. I believe it does something like transforming, almost like transforming your DNA. I think it transforms the actual food. It enhances it. I think food's supposed to have a lot more hydrogen. That's why they deplete the soils and spray them and all this garbage, because they don't want us to have the best food. Sorry to say that, but they don't want us to, you know, it's kind of strange. They don't want us to be healthy, if you can believe that. I know, it's one of those conspiratorial things, but I'm not really a conspiracy guy. Well, I'm not gonna say that I am or that I'm not. All I'll say is, all you have to do is look at the facts. And the facts are that they are spraying stuff in the sky. The facts are there is stuff in our food. I mean, I've seen the lab reports, you know, so the facts, those are the facts. For whatever reason why they're doing it, whatever, but one way or another, it's not very good for you. Oh, thanks again for all the thumbs up, guys. Wow. Okay, so, and if you got the hydrofix, make sure to watch video 426. Super important. And then if you can, 388 and 337. Okay, do you guys think this will blend? Any thoughts? Because I squished it in there. And I'm going to show you the other nutrients I put in there. Okay, let's go grab the nutrients while this hydrogen's absorbing into the smoothie. Let's see here. Oh, show you. All right. I'll show you some of the nutrients, and I'm going to show you how I soak these because I'm going to prepare them for tomorrow. I already have some walnuts. I actually already have some walnuts soaked for tomorrow, but just if you guys want to know how I do it. So I always do it the day before. I just happened to soak too many walnuts the other day, so I don't have to do that. But raisins are obviously really sweet and delicious. These are sun-dried raisins, which I like when they're sun-dried. And they're dried. As I said, I like things to soak water. And in this case, we're going to use magic water because it's super clean and it's full of hydrogen. So all I do is pour some in here. And then I'm going to put them in the fridge. It's pretty simple. Nothing complicated. I do the same thing with the chia seeds, except those are a little more difficult. You gotta shake the jar. Okay. In the fridge. Put these away, and I don't know if you guys think the machine will blend or not. You tell me. You think the blender will blend? Okay. Let's see. Yeti says, if I set the machine to 30 minutes and want to do another in about an hour, do another in about an hour, do I have to turn the machine off and restart it again? I feel like I'm always turning off and turning on the machine. Well, I don't know if your question is very clear, but if the machine, that's not very clear. There's a little confusion there. The simple fact is, you turn on the machine to dissolve hydrogen into the water. If the machine turns off, the hydrogen will eventually escape the water, and yes, you can start it again and it'll put hydrogen back in there. Unless you're talking about when it's on standby, because then it'll maintain the levels of whatever water's in there, but if you add more, it's going to dilute it, which means you have to run the machine again to raise those levels. I'm not sure if that's really answering your question. Joshua says, how long before you eat or drink something after eating that smoothie? Boy, this thing fills me up pretty much all day almost, but I always have leftover, and then I put that in the fridge, and if I get hungry sometimes throughout the day, I'll just drink more. In fact, I have some still left over from yesterday, just a little bit. So this is what I do for just breakfast and lunch. That's it. It's all smoothie, because this smoothie is not just a smoothie. This is to get enough fiber, all my nutrients, all my minerals. It's everything. It's an everything smoothie. That's why I make it. And then I just have one solid meal for dinner. So I just have smoothies basically for the day, and then that's it. Okay. So let's grab a jar, because I'm going to be putting some of this away. Let's grab one of those. You know, I purchased this really great microphone, so when I move around, you guys can hear me, if you can believe it. I lost it, and I don't normally lose things. I was kind of, there's been a lot of moving and construction and different stuff, so I think that's what was partially responsible. All right, let's blend it. Level, you do the vacuum blender, which I have, but this one's so big, and I've been making smoothies for other people, so this one makes it a lot easier. Okay, this is going to be for later. And whenever you mix something with food, like nutrients, like you're about to see, I'm going to put some vitamins, or even if you want to put minerals, they do really well in food. And then of course with hydrogen water also, like if you want to add minerals to it. I have a new protocol. I haven't made a video yet though, but I've been the guinea pig, and it's actually going quite well. So I'm going to be sharing that with you in the future. I'm trying to get some links for stuff so you guys know what you need to get. Ooh, this tasted good. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pour half in my cup. And this is my vitamin, by the way. So my breakfast is my vitamin. Nutritional deficiencies are key to overcome for health. This is no ordinarily vitamin D, guys. This is D3 with K2 in its ionic form. That's the big part. Almost nobody makes it in its ionic form. And I'm putting 7,000 IUs. I usually do between 5 and 10,000 IUs. This is just boron. This is really good for like your hormones. It's just a mineral. Well, I guess when I say I don't do supplements, I don't like to take pills or anything, but this is just liquids or powders. They're either just minerals or food. Simple, simple, simple. That's how I like to do it. Actually, I'm gonna leave these here. And then I pour the rest in here. And now let's get more nutrients. Everything's about nutrients. Some people hyper focus on just protein. Protein is a very vague term. You're literally made up of proteins. So I focus on all the different types of nutrients and all the minerals, basically overcome all nutritional deficiencies. Oh no, where is it? I like to consume a lot of different types of nuts and seeds, and this is one of the most powerful, well-balanced proteins known to man. See, you have to have a balance of omegas 3s and 6s. This is the most balanced. Obviously tons of protein, but look at the level of nutrients. It's unbelievable, and it's only one ingredient. It's just hemp hearts. This almost looks like a multivitamin all on its own. And the body responds best to food. That's why if you look like the magnesium, the zinc, the copper, I mean, this is the way you want to get it. You don't want to get it in a pill. I've seen too many contaminants. There's actually a guy out there making videos who likes to sell magnesium, and he says that all the magnesium products are very contaminated. That's something he's been saying. And I agree. I've seen a lot of stuff with a lot of contamination in regards to magnesium supplements. So I'm not a fan. Like I said, everything is mostly food, and notice it's organic. You know, you do the best you can to minimize the pesticides, and ultimately that's it. Let's try this out. Quite good. And then I have other supplements I have to take, but this is only because of the stem cells. Because normally I wouldn't do it. In fact, I'll show you guys if you want. I gotta go here soon though, but I'll just, if you guys want me to answer a few questions or something. Cameras, okay. Let's drink some of this. So, the doctor wanted me to take specific amino acids, perfect aminos, taking some of those. I'm going to wait till a little bit of the food goes in my stomach. I like when the things work with food. Let's see. Somebody said, Joshua said that's great. Yvette says, thank you so much for your sharing all your knowledge. So grateful for your existence. Oh, thank you. I love gratitude. Gratitude is a beautiful, powerful thing. Let's see. This one is called Advanced Stem Cell Support. She gave me some of this. She has different protocols depending on how crazy you want to get. I wanted to do the full-on, most powerful protocol. She gave me some fulvic acid, humic, and fulvic acid. I already took that. That one you take empty stomach with a lot of water. Hydrogen clean water, guys, nothing better. Hemp hearts. Okay, maybe that's better. Maybe you guys can hear me better. And this one was kind of scary for me. It's not a big deal, but oh, I think I can take my apron off now. I didn't want to stain my white t-shirt. What I can show you is, yeah, when she showed me this, I was like, what? I don't do this type of stuff. Needles. I have to inject what's called peptides. So that's another part of her big time protocol. She's an award-winning doctor. She had awards all over the place. She got some for her stem cell work. I mean, really great. She's one of the best. And she really broke it all down for me, just like I do with hydrogen. And that's why we shared a lot of knowledge. There was a lot she didn't know about hydrogen too, and so it was a really great conversation. And yeah, that's it, guys. So I think I'm gonna go soon. If you have any other questions, let's see here. Somebody says, Yvette, I just bought my vitamin D in ionic form. There you go. Have to buy the boron now, if you want to. It helps regulate hormones, and it's really good for like if you want to build muscle. I mean, I'm not really looking to build a bunch of muscle, but good for testosterone levels. Feeling good. Okay, Summer says, I am glad I caught your live video. Ooh, you caught it. Andrea says, I just got my Holy Hydrogen machine last night, started using it. I think it's already helping my kidneys. You want the cleanest water for kidneys for sure. You want the hydrogen, and you need a very specific diet if you want to heal the kidneys. That's my opinion. I've done it already. I've seen it work. You want something that is easy on your body. You don't want to strain the kidneys. I would do a lot of inhalation from the Hydrofix. Nice way to get the hydrogen without having to get too much of the water, which could potentially be hard on the kidneys. So I have a whole kidney protocol. I did a video with somebody else that you can find on my channel, or you can contact me directly. Joshua says, I want to look her up. Is it Dr. Joy Kong? That's right. Dr. Joy Kong. Go join her. Let her know the Hydrogen Man sent you. Because I really want her to know that I'm supporting her. And if she starts getting people going over there, I just want her to know where it's coming from. I'm not getting anything out of it, but I want her to know that because, again, she was really, really kind to me, guys. Very kind. So I'm very grateful for that. I like when people are kind, I'm grateful, and want to do the honorable good thing because it affects all of us. It's a basic teaching in both Buddhism and Christianity. Love your neighbor. You know, be kind to others. And I like that she does good work. Andrea says, I got super clean water from a company called Mindful Water here in Idaho. I never like buying water from any company, Andrea, because bottled water has been shown to have the highest level of microplastics than any water, than any product and anything that you consume. I'm sure they do a good job. I'm not doubting that. But the only way to make sure that you're getting the absolute best water there is, it's definitely not buying water from anybody. It is making your own. And the good news is it's not expensive. It's from a website called mypurewater.com with, but just because they use stainless steel and glass doesn't mean that their process of filtering the water is the best. They're probably doing reverse osmosis or something, and they're probably using UV light, and they're doing all this stuff, but watch my video 388. That'll explain the whole thing. I did that whole video to explain all that. I'm not saying their water is not good, but when you're dealing with kidneys, you need the cleanest. I could tell you guys a story if you want. I'm in the middle of your kidney video. Oh, good. Okay, I hope you enjoy that. I got super clean water. I want to blah, 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 blah. Basically a small sponge on a toothpick. Let's see, what did I miss? Started using it. My Spirit Divine Center says basically a small sponge on a toothpick. Not sure what that means. Okay. Yeah, and the containers they use is, I mean, it's important, but how are they filtering it is actually kind of more important. Now I'm going to take these. Let's see here. Which one am I going to do? I'm going to do these guys first. This is stem cell support. Anything that helps with the stem cells that I'm already taking is what the doctor told me. All this is to support what's going on in my body. Magic. And guys, I'm telling you, you know what the spiritual side of this whole thing was? I felt that baby magic. Those stem cells, babies are so pure and beautiful, and they have all this amazing energy. They haven't been hurt by the world yet. And that's one of the things that saddens me the most, is when people don't care about others, right? And I've seen that a lot in the world of health. You know, they sell products without having to try to make them the best, or the best supplement, or whatever, you know. I've seen it I've seen a lot of places. It's not just, you know, let's go with the perfect aminos. Disposable oral sponges are perfect for cleaning the machine. Oh, good. That's important. These machines will make hydrogen for a long time. Believe it or not, it's actually the cheapest way to make hydrogen for the long term, because the machine lasts longer than any other machine. Or, I mean, it's not about lasting long. It can produce high levels of hydrogen for many years better than any machine there is out there. All the other ones break. Okay. It is the product to clean the machine and reach all the small spaces. I'll have to look at that. Mindful. All right, guys. Well, any last questions? Eva says, what's the website for all those products? Honestly, I don't know. These were all given to me. They were part of my stem cell protocol from the doctor. The only one that I probably won't show you is the injection, because I don't think anybody wants to see. I don't even know if YouTube would allow somebody injecting themselves on camera. But they're just peptides, tiny little bottles with peptides in them. My least favorite part of the whole thing, but someone's asking me if I'm still in Japan. No, I'm not in Japan right now. But I will be going back, obviously, and actually planning to move there most likely permanently. In fact, I was just looking at this. See, here's one of the lab reports I have for what's in the water. You should ask what type of filter they're using for that water that you're buying. Because, well, nothing compares to distillation is the thing. Mostly because it gets all the peptides good for women too. You know, I don't know a ton about peptides. I'm just following the doctor's protocol for that. I assume they are. And then, oh, he distills it first. Well, there you go. If he's distilling it, then yeah. It's just cheaper if you have your own device, that's all. And you guarantee that you know how you're getting the water. It pays itself off in about 6 months is what I've noticed compared to the price that you pay for water. And then hidden messages in water, guys. You guys know this one, Japanese. Beautiful images, so think positive thoughts. Be kind to each other. Treat your body right. Thankful for the nature that gave us the food that we eat every day. All good things, guys. Okay, I agree. My own device would be cheaper. Yeah, it'd be much cheaper. Like I said, mypurewater.com. If you want a coupon, the coupon code is uprising144K. Their cheapest machine, which is actually still really good, it's American made, really good one, is with the discount code, it's like $500 and something. I run this thing all the time. And I have another one too. They like last forever. Can you share her website? Eva, you would have to email me your name, phone number, and email. And then I've been sending it to her, and she has a team, and they contact you and then answer any question you have or anything like that. But if you want to look her up, it's Dr. Kong. You can find her. She's known as a stem cell queen, by the way, so that's kind of interesting. Just please remember to tell her that the Hydrogen Man sent you. Like I said, I just really want to try to repay her kindness in any way I can. So, and someone says, oh, I just bought that book. Here, I'm going to pour more smoothie. Hold on one second, guys. You can ask any questions meanwhile. All I would say is powerful regenerative medicine. So I just poured myself a second smoothie. I usually have 2 glasses, and that's it. So I have my super clean hydrogen water in the morning with a new protocol, which I'll be sharing with you guys later, that has to do with a very special type of, it's just a new technique. I'll be showing it to you guys later. So I'm doing that in the mornings. And then, you guys saw the rest. I just came up here, made my smoothie, enjoy my breakfast. I like it. Some people don't. Tastes good to me. And okay, and I'm gonna go soon. Okay, no question. So there's no question, guys. I think I'm gonna say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Hope all is well with everybody out there. I'll give you guys a few seconds because I always get emails later or messages later. I had so many questions. I wish I would have caught you live. I'm like, really? I'm always here like, anybody have any questions? This is your chance. And then I don't hear much. Is she in LA? Yes, that's correct, actually. And she has some interesting services where I believe for some people, not for everybody, she can fly out to you or send a doctor to you that implements her protocol. I'm very impressed. It takes a lot to impress me. Clean water, hydrogen, good food, hot springs, these stem cells that she does. I'd be very, very cautious after learning a lot about it. Very cautious about what kind of stem cells I would put in my body, to be quite honest with you guys. Learn a lot about it, and they're not all the same. And the ones that they take from your own body can be very painful too, on top of everything. So, and you're gonna basically be getting old stem cells because you're getting them from an older body, you know. So, okay, let's see here, any last questions? Could you review the ingredients of your smoothies, please? I have the Express Life. I have so many videos where I've made smoothies, so you can always go back and watch all of them. They're always different, but for the most part, I always like to put my purium powder. If you guys want a discount code on that, it's Uprising144K. It's at a website called ishoppurium.com because of their high purity, and every ingredient is just food. And it's like my multivitamin, basically. And I put that powder in there. If I can find raw turmeric powder, I put it in there. Flax seeds, the greens. I like super greens, you know, because most of us don't eat enough greens. And blueberries, carrots, celery, a banana. What else do I put in there? Today I put pineapple in there. Beets. I like to put beets in there. What else did I put in there? Oh, walnuts. I like walnuts because they have fat. In fact, if I could afford it, I would like to put avocado in there every day, but I don't. Sometimes I put natto, which is one of the top superfoods, at least top 3 in the world. And I didn't put that in there today, but I did yesterday. I do it once in a while. It's called natto, natto. It's a fermented bean. Has almost the same amount of protein as beef, but it's super good for you. Definitely better for you than beef. It's like super, super, super food. The Japanese have done extensive amounts of research on natto. Amazing. Oxygenating your blood, anti-cancerous, super good for your gut microbiome. On and on it goes. I think that's about it. What else? Oh, I put the chia seeds that I like to soak in the water. Right now I've been putting, because I have a whole bag of sun-dried raisins that I soak in the hydrogen clean water, put them in there too. What else did I put in there? That's about it. My Spirit Divine Center says, what about soybeans affecting testosterone? The natto beans are made from soybeans. Now, that was actually bad information out there. They kept saying that for a long time. And just remember, guys, you have to think for yourself sometimes and do critical thinking. The Japanese live longer than anyone of any industrialized nation in the world. And after me living there and spending a lot of time there, these people work so hard. They do drink and smoke a lot, and they still outlive everybody. And I realize why. I've been observing their tendencies. They eat a lot of vegetables, actually, and they eat a lot of soybeans. Beans are actually really good for you. And they made a mistake. They made a huge mistake. They kept telling everybody that soybeans were going to affect your estrogen and your testosterone. It turned out that that data was wrong. In fact, the data ended up revealing inadvertently, and this was many years later, and the narrative's already out there and everybody believes it forever. They figured out that we actually have different types of receptors. They were confusing the data, but natto and soybeans are actually extremely anti-cancerous, especially for something like breast cancer. I don't know if you've known that they've actually used it in breast cancer studies. So beans are really good for you. I don't believe the beans are bad for you. They're extremely good for you. And so that's just and remember, these protocols that I've been doing them for years. I've been testing my blood for years, depending on the protocol, to see which one works best. And I've looked at a lot of data. And I'm not saying things like meat are bad for you, by the way, but you really shouldn't eat too much. It over it strains the body, but they have really good nutrients. One of the things that the Japanese found out actually is if you eat vegetables before the meat, it significantly reduces a lot of the negative effects of eating meat. And so that's one little tip, mostly because of the fiber, the antioxidants, and it helps break down this meat because the meat has no fiber in it. You know, let's see here. Andrea says the Japanese got it going on. Well, they're smart, extremely bright, and they put a lot of effort in though. They're not just smart; they put so much effort in. You should see the way that they raise their kids, the kids in Japan, and the schooling and everything. I think my camera lens is a little dirty. But yeah, really unbelievable. I'm very impressed with a lot of things they do. What's the difference between natto beans versus the powder? Oh, huge difference. Because the beans, remember, they're fermented. They actually get really, really slimy. If you look at the videos, you got to stir them up, and they oxygenate, brings them to life. The powder could never do what that food can do, ultimately, guys. Just never happen. You want the real deal. Now, if you can't get it, then I understand, and then maybe you do some powder. Just make sure you get it from that it's made in Japan, or at least America. Don't get anything made, I hate to say it, but don't get anything from China. Their food stuff is kind of scary based on actual scientific reports that I've seen, like actual studies of contaminants in their food. It's nuts. They do some weird things, you know, and what's sad is they do it for money. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen, they literally will take like shrimp and inject them with this weird substance to make them bigger, just so that they can weigh more to try to make more money. They do the same thing with chickens. They're like injecting these chickens to inflate them, and it's sad. You know, I guess I'm guessing they don't seem to care about people, as weird as that sounds. So it's gonna make people sick, in my opinion. But yeah, you don't inject weird glues. It says, hey man, hope you're good, tuning in. Hey, Herbal Tree. Like the name, or no, Herbal Tea. I thought it was Herbal Tree. That'd be cool. V.E. Whitaker says, what are the differences between, oh no, that was it already. Okay. The Express Life says, are you vegetarian? Mostly, yeah. So basically, I haven't eaten meat for over a decade. And I know that when my doctor did my blood work, she was so shocked. It was really kind of funny, actually. She kept telling me, she goes, I just can't believe it, and I would never believe you, except I'm looking at your blood work. She goes, I'm looking at your blood work, and she goes, it's blowing my mind, because everybody has nutritional deficiencies, and she's like, you don't. How are you doing that without eating meat? So I usually just eat fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans, rice, and mushrooms. And then once in a while, if I feel it, like I can just feel my body wants it. In fact, I was thinking about doing it today. I'll boil an egg and I'll put that in a huge salad. But my salads aren't normal. They're like super greens, an avocado, sauerkraut. Like to put pistachio nuts, sometimes macadamia nuts, definitely sprouted pumpkin seed nuts, a lot of nuts, all these fats, really good properties to these nuts. And then if I can, I'll take natto. Sometimes I'll put it in there also, or some tofu on the side. I like to have a little miso soup. Really good for you. The Japanese do that with some mushrooms in it. What else? Oh, and I like to have some steamed rice. So I buy only Japanese organic rice, because the way they grow it is unbelievable. Best rice in the world. There cannot be any better rice than what the Japanese are growing. And I do a little bit of that. And my body feels satisfied. You know, when I used to try like the carnivore diet, I didn't feel satisfied. When I tried really, really extreme diets, something always felt off, like, oh, no carbs. I don't actually believe in that. Not only do I not believe in it, the Japanese have done studies on it and how important a certain amount of carbs are, but I don't like to buy garbage carbs. I don't do bread. There's too many ingredients, too many factors. Here's one of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give you. This is what I do myself. I only tell you what I do, is I get stuff that are simple ingredients. So if you get a bag of rice, the ingredient is rice. That's it. They can't muck it up, right? They can't be putting sugar and colors and God knows what in it. Just like breads, there's too many ingredients, but obviously I want it grown right and no pesticides and stuff of that nature. So that's kind of the way I eat. I mean, this is mostly what I eat, what you're seeing here. And the doctor wanted to know how I'm doing it. And of course, I'm using the hydrogen to maximize my absorption of nutrients, eliminate free radicals, yada, yada, yada. It's super good for your skin. A lot of people don't know that. Helps the body produce collagen, all sorts of crazy stuff. Proper hydration, clean water, these smoothies, and that's my main thing. I do some anti-parasitics once in a while. I'll do some deworming. You know, I like saunas and stuff like that. Dr. Lee on YouTube. No, not Dr. Lee, it's Dr. Kong, but Joy Kong, I think. I mean, that's her name. So anyway, yeah, I don't know if that answers your questions. Once in a while, I'll have some eggs. Once in a while, I'll even have fish. And it's mostly like a friend. Like the other day, somebody came over and brought this massive fish that they caught out in, you know, the beautiful river or the ocean. And I know that they're polluted and they have, you know, heavy metals and a lot of stuff, but I do it once in a while. I'm not like crazy extreme, like, oh, I'll never touch, you know, that again. I don't eat cheese almost ever, but if I do eat cheese, I eat a certain type of cheese that's almost like, it seems like it doesn't bug my stomach as much as other cheeses. It's called queso fresco, and it's more like, it's just a different consistency, but it's really good. And I had some of that yesterday in my salad. I put that in my salad and stuff like that anyway. Blah, 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 blah. I hope that answered your question. I don't, you know, some people get really weird about those things. Okay, herbal tree. Andrea says, I love nuts and seeds. Me too. If I don't eat my nuts with my salad, like the macadamia nuts, the pistachios, whatever, different types of nuts, I don't feel satisfied. So I letting my body kind of tell me, you know, what it needs. That's what I listen to. My hydrotherapist warned me not to eat them. Okay. Nothing's perfect out there, but I like nuts from trees. I think that they're great. I do like soaking them in water. I think that makes them better. Get some water in there because they're dry. Eva says, yes, true. New study says it's really good. Yeah, there's a lot of good info on it. Oh, Dr. Lee on YouTube, is that what you were saying? I see, okay. The Express Life says, thank you for sharing your diet. How do you get enough B vitamins like B12 and omega-3s, collagen without meat? Well, the collagen production seems to be coming from my hydrogen, from the studies and whatever. When they tested my B vitamins, I was getting enough. One of the things that I also do is I have, if you've ever heard of nutritional yeast, I have it right here. I can grab it if you really want. But I put that on my salad every day and it tastes like cheese. And it's rich in B12. But I couldn't figure out either. In fact, the doctor was wondering, how are you getting these level of nutrients? And I've been finding that the combination of the hydrogen and the fiber that I consume, because all this fiber in the food that I eat, I found new data showing that it appears to get your own body to produce I'm probably producing almost 40% of my B vitamins. So maybe even more actually. So it's really, really kind of crazy. And that's new info. That's why I did the blood work. I needed to know that what I'm doing is actually working. Because if it wasn't working, I would change. I'm like, okay, I guess I got to eat steaks or whatever. The reason I'm not really big on meat is, it's gonna sound really weird, but one, the dirtiness of it. It's meat is dirty. If you guys want to go do any research, did you know that they've tested all the meat throughout the United States in many different locations and companies? They always test positive for fecal matter. Every single time there's poop in your meat. That to me is disgusting. It's dirty. I don't like it. And if you let meat sit out and rot, it starts worms coming out of it. These maggots are actual eggs that are in the meat, guys. You're eating this stuff and then it sprouts in your body and grows, and it's dirty. It dirties the blood, and it's just not very clean. You know, that's one of the other reasons. How I created my protocols is I read ancient books, I observe nature, and I read the science, and I bring these things together to create protocols. And I have found some really interesting things about, even especially in ancient books, like how the meat affects your body. Because think about it, meat has natural hormone in it. because an animal has hormones, just like we have hormones. We produce our hormones. When you eat food that has hormone in it, it disrupts and dysregulates your hormones. That's actually why I was taking the boron. The boron helps regulate your hormones and get your body to produce what it needs to produce without bringing anything in that disrupts it, again, like meat. If you do it once in a while, it's not a big deal. But I see people eat, they'll have eggs and bacon for breakfast, and then later on in the day, they'll have a hamburger or something. And then for dinner, they'll have a steak and whatever, French fries. It's way too much for the body to deal with. I'm not saying that I would never eat it, because while I was in Japan, I did eat broth. So they made this amazing broth with beef. I won't touch pork. I will never eat pork, but because of the science, there's some really weird data about pork and the parasites that they have. They're unlike any other parasites, and I'm just not a huge fan, that's all. But I would have broth, and I have had beef broth multiple times, and it was so good. I had to make exceptions in Japan, and I believe that that's how you can get the nutrients from the meat. I also think we kill too many animals, but if you guys have never heard of this lady, Temple Grandin, go watch the movie Temple Grandin, a true story. It's a very interesting story, and it's a real story too, actually. Yeah, it's kind of gross. So yeah, producing your own B vitamins. So that is, so somebody says, dude, it's so hard to get clean food these days. Oh yeah, it's one of the reasons, actually. Powder doesn't have salt or sodium. Oh, well, neither does natto. People don't realize, they literally buy the natto and they look at the ingredients, and there's a massive list of really nasty ingredients, and you're thinking, that's in the natto? It's not. When you buy it, it comes with these little packets of soy sauce that has sugar and all this garbage in it. The ingredients are those packets. I throw those away. I just get the raw material, just the beans, the fermented beans. I've explained that in some other videos before. Kate says, can I make multiple pitchers of hydrogen back to back? Also, can I pour a glass in the middle of inhalation and refill while running it? Yes. Simple answer is yes to all those questions. If you have the Hydrofix, because other machines will literally, if you read the fine print, they tell you to shut it off, let the machine cool down, all this stuff. The Hydrofix has been tested where you can run it 24/7. It's like the Toyota of hydrogen machines. Okay, I think I answered all your questions, guys. So, and then Michelle says, yes, I don't eat pork. Yeah, it was really weird. They did a study on it, and they literally took pigs and cooked them differently. They kept cooking more and more and more, to the point where they were just totally burning them, where it was completely unedible. And they tested them for parasites. Even the one that was completely burned and unedible still had over 30% of the parasites alive. It was nuts. Something weird about pigs, guys. I love pigs, by the way. I think they're actually, the funny thing about pigs is they're very sensitive animals, extremely sensitive. I'm very sensitive, so maybe I have some of that going on, right? Personally, I think most humans are. That's why people get anxiety and stress, because we're supposed to have a peaceful life. And pigs are very sensitive. So when they get either abused or bad things happen to them, they create these stress hormones, and you're eating that stuff. And I don't think people, realize that. Yeah, they're really gentle. They're really cute. I really like pigs. They do taste delicious. Don't get me wrong. I understand that they're super delicious. But you have to understand too that my journey for health, you can do things a little differently than me. My journey is also spiritual in nature on top of health. And in order to do that, that's why I don't consume, animals. And as far as I go would be fish and eggs. And even those I don't consume very often. So I got to go very soon, guys. If you have any last questions. Andrea says, pigs are gentle creatures. I know. Kate says, yep, thank you. Herbal Tea says, I put borax in my bath. Has boron in it. Meant to negate the fluoride. How do you take boron? It's a supplement. Sometimes I eat a pinch of borax. Oof. I would be very cautious about where you're getting it from, but if you noticed, I used a little dropper. It's a pure liquid, really high purity, company called Concentrates. I did a whole video on it. You can watch the video where I did boron and vitamin D. Those are like two of my favorite ones, because I just think vitamin D is the one that's necessary. That's literally the only one. If I supplement anything, it's vitamin D. It's the only one. So important, and you're just not going to get enough of it in your food. Michelle says yes. Okay, okay. Somebody says, Herbal Tea says, no worries if you don't want to talk about borax, might get your video flagged. Oh, Michelle says it's in the Bible. It is. Herbal tea, peace. Yes, that is my favorite emotion. I love being at peace. And that's why you guys will only be seeing me for a little while longer. I've been making videos for a long time. My plan is to move to Japan permanently. I want to go out there. I found some really nice spots up in the mountains where they have beautiful hot springs, extremely good farming, so you get really high quality food. One of the last places on earth where you can get really high quality food, high quality farming. It's, and I literally have to leave, quote unquote, my country in order to go get the things that I want to give my body. Only because this journey, life is important to me. And I don't have a lot of years left. We have an average life expectancy of 70 something. And so it doesn't leave me much time. So I'm gonna try to go spend the last, quote unquote, good years over there, because, you're gonna age one way or another. You can age healthy, but one way or another, you're gonna age. And so, yeah, this is what's important to me. That's the life that I choose, and whatever other people choose, Okay, how many drops of boron? Oh, yeah, it shows you, it's all in the bottle, so it'll show you how many milliliters. Thank you so much. Hydrogen Man says, express life. Kate says, how many drops of boron? And then Herbal Tea says, okay, dude, interesting. V.E. Whitaker, can I purchase the natto beans in a bag from Amazon? I wouldn't, because natto beans, you're supposed to buy them in a freezer. So if you go to an Asian food store, Japanese food store, Korean food store, Chinese food store, go to the freezer section and look for natto. But look where it's coming from. Try to get the stuff from Japan. Japan's gonna run out of natto, everybody's gonna starve. Well, it's funny, when I used to talk about it more, I would literally go to this store here where I used to get it, and it was just like empty all the time. And I was like, what happened? And then I stopped talking about it for a while. But there's no way that I had that influence, so I don't know who was talking about it. But I thought it was funny. Michelle says, don't leave us, no one else talks about this stuff. Well, that's also true. But I will tell you, Michelle, I'm not planning on just leaving you guys. I'm trying to do, there's something that I'm working on for the benefit of people. And so, although I may be leaving, I'll probably still try to do videos if I feel called to do it. So I really tried. I tried for many years. As you guys have seen, my channel's been out for, I think, about 10 years. And I really tried to bring this information out, hoping that I would get on bigger platforms and share more of this information widely. But what I've learned throughout this process is that it's just so run by money, whether it's certain supplements that I don't even like, machines for hydrogen or water filtration that I'm not a fan of, a lot of money involved. That's how you get on these big shows. Obviously I'm not going to go around traveling everywhere paying to be on big shows, because it's bad for my health to travel. It's not good for you to travel, to be on planes all the time and having to eat out all the time. I'm not going to sacrifice my health for that. And then a lot of these people, they don't really want to talk to someone like me, unless I'm kind of trying to push certain products and stuff. And I've had a lot of companies try to approach me and they wanted me to sell and promote products, but I don't want to. I'm only going to share what I use and what's good for people. And I've already shown you the distiller stuff. I've shown you the best hydrogen machine. I've shown you the blender. Most of the stuff is food. A lot of people get mad about what I say about food. They're like, oh my God, you're such a dummy. You should be eating this way. Talk to my doctor who's on my blood work. She believes it now. Okay, let's see. Andrea says, just got some boron drops. There you go. Michelle says, good. V.E. Whitaker says, thank you. Andrea says, I bet Billy Carson or Elizabeth Carson would interview you. Well, they have. I've been interviewed by Billy, but only once, by the way. And we didn't even go deep, and he doesn't want to talk anymore. No, that was that. Elizabeth Carson, I do still talk to her here and there, and I hope we'll do more stuff in the future. My viewers are the ones who really help. That's actually how I get on most of the shows, is viewers reaching out to different podcasters that they would like me to talk to. So I do that. But like I said, it's probably not going to go on forever. I'm making a plan, and I think I should be gone. I don't know, but it's going to be very soon. I've been planning on it for a long time. I've been working on it for a long time. I don't go into, Herbal Tea says, integrity. Well, it's important because you want to live with yourself. And I'll tell you one thing, not to get into crazy details, but when you go to the other side, meaning when you finally die, or you can go to the other side and come back too with certain type of like, it's not easy, but meditation. Obviously, some people have had near-death experiences, and I've been to the other side, and it changed me a lot because I realized what's really important in life, and it's not accumulating stuff because you're not taking it with you. And I know it can be fun for some people to be like, hey, I want to live it up. I want to, buy the Ferrari or, make a ton of money. I don't care at what cost, right? Just screw whoever's in my path. And people live like this, but what they don't realize is you're going to deal with it when you go to the other side, and it's going to be extremely painful. And you'll realize in time that it's not just about feeding your body, guys. I think we know how to feed our body at this point. It's not the most complicated thing. But to feed your soul is a whole other thing. And that comes from true kindness, truly caring about other people. So if you're a farmer, you want to have the best soil, you want to grow the best food, you don't want to be spraying the crap out of it with pesticides or herbicides. If you're going to make a water filter, like let's say you're going to have a water filtration company, you actually want to have good equipment that's not going to break down, that's actually going to filter the water. Integrity, as somebody was saying a second ago. Same thing for the hydrogen. The hydrogen's been a major issue. If you guys haven't read it, you should go to the official company's website called holyhydrogen.com. Go read the full story. On the top right part, I think it says About Us. And then read the full story of the guy who created the machine and why he did it. We are so lucky that this guy exists and that he made this magical machine, because there's no other machine out there that I would want to use. It's the best in the world when it comes to hydrogen. And the sad part is that I feel like somebody had to pay a price, and that was his daughter, because it was because of his daughter, who was born really ill, and we get the benefit. And sometimes that's the way it goes. Like, I'm here sharing this information because I was really ill and I had to learn all this stuff. And I went from going, I'm not even supposed to be alive, to now I'm rated, I don't know if you saw the video, where I'm rated like top 1% or even less healthiest people based on my numbers and everything in the entire United States. That's a big change. That means that anybody can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. The only problem is that it has to matter to you a lot, because if you're in a lot of pain and you're sick, it'll make you change, and not always, but yeah. Michelle says, learn to be kind and do the right thing. Yeah. And I think people would be a lot happier that way. And that's one of the things I noticed in Japan. People are so kind there, and they're so clean. And yes, they're very organized and regimented and strict and a lot of other things, and certain things that are difficult. But for someone like me, I value what they do. I'll miss things about the US and other countries, but I value my peace. So it's all right, guys. So that's where I'll leave you. I hope you guys have peace in your lives. And if not, try to plan a life where you can hopefully reach it someday. It's taken me many years to plan for such a journey, and maybe I'll take you guys with me. I have another YouTube channel called Happy Japan. I don't know if you can find it, but maybe I'll be sharing more of my information on that channel. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Time will tell. But yeah, so I hope I answered all your questions. I'm gonna let you guys go. Unless you have any last things, I'll give you a few seconds just in case. Herbal Tea says, your health tests were off the charts. They were. Inspirational. Yeah, from nutritional deficiencies. They even measured the gases coming out of my mouth to that other machine that measured all my measurements. Everything I've tested is off the charts, like literally 1% or less of the population. All that means, all it means is that my methods work, but I've seen them work. I've seen dementia, Alzheimer's, blood pressure issues, diabetes, cholesterol, lung issues, eye issues. Arthritis, heart disease. If you guys have seen that lady who's almost 100 years old, her heart disease went away. Her cardiologist was like, what? Never needed surgery. Getting off of pharmaceuticals. On and on it goes. Improving, actually overcoming all the Crohn's disease, celiac disease, leaky gut, IBS, a lot of gut issues. Like this protocol that I have does almost everything from everything that I've seen, and it's not complicated. I think most of the damage that people have with their health is something that they're doing to themselves. They don't realize it. And people complain all the time. I hang out with people who are like, oh, I eat healthy, and they're like, but I have all these problems. And I'm literally at their house sitting there, and I see them using the wrong water, like from the refrigerator filter. Then I see them putting some bacon and start frying it on the pan. And then they put a few little vegetables in there. And then they put like eggs, of course. And then they'll get out their sour cream. And I mean, I'm watching them. I'm like, you think this is healthy? Like, I'm not saying it's crazy unhealthy, but it's not like they're just eating, ding dongs and Twinkies for breakfast or anything, but it's not the healthiest. They didn't even drink water first that was super clean, let alone with hydrogen. I mean, hydrogen is next level, okay? That is absolutely amazing stuff. And then I don't see them consuming much fiber. And when you're frying stuff on a pan, you're using heated oil, you're heating oils, which creates a lot of carcinogens. I mean, on and on it goes. I don't like to I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying what I see, but people, they wonder, why am I sick if I'm treating myself right? They really think they're treating themselves right, Andrea says, thank you, very inspiring. I'm very hopeful with the hydrogen water. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Watch video 337, 426, and 388. Michelle says, thank you. Andrea sends hearts. Joshua says, thank you. I'll look up the channel and have a good day. All right, you too, bud. What's the channel name? Happy Japan. I don't know if it'll pop up though, because it's got almost no followers. But once I spend more time there, more and more videos will be coming out from that side. Okay, guys. I don't think there's any other questions, so thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Oh wait, I hope I answered your question there, Joshua. Yep. Channel name, Happy Japan. I'll give you guys a second, but I'm pretty much done unless you guys again have any questions, but otherwise we're pretty much done. Stem cells are amazing, and I'll share with you guys what actually works. And hydrogen with stem cells is next level, guys. I don't think, well, nobody's doing that. So this is, and I mean the right type of hydrogen. I don't mean the little bottles or little tablets. I'm talking like actual equipment that doesn't use chemicals like sodium hydroxide or lye or cheap metals like stainless steel or plated metals, like the best. Obviously, you guys know that's from a place called holyhydrogen.com, and they literally named their machine after the best hydrogen water known in the world, which is from Lourdes, France. So pretty amazing. Okay, I didn't see any more questions pop up, so I'm gonna let you guys go. Take care. Till next time. Peace be with you guys. Bye-bye.